That's how you blow up now. Be
Right,
hella
but
controversial.
yeah, but at what expense? At what expense, though? It's welcome to Oracle Unveiled. Just have a few questions for you. The first one is, why do you create?
Okay, man, that's honestly a really good question. So, I mean, I've always had a passion for all the types of art. I mean, draw, paint, all that stuff.
Mhm.
That's kind of where I started. I was actually like really nervous as a kid. I was at stage fright, didn't want to do choir in school even or anything like that.
Yeah.
I hated that. But my dad loved music.
Um,
And so like as a kid I didn't really appreciate it as much, but I lost him when I was really young.
mm,
And kind of looking back at that is something that kind of connects me back, you
understand.
know?
Mhm.
And so it's more just like a passion now, even if it's making music or drawing, just whatever, just a passion to create,
Mhm.
because I mean I have really bad ADHD. And so it's
Understandable.
I got 100 things going on in my head all day. So even if like when I went on a little bit of a hiatus and I wasn't putting music out or anything, I would still make music just because
Mhm.
it clears my head.
Okay.
It gets the 100 things going on down to one.
Understandable. Understandable. So you think, creation, do you think that's kind of like also a way for you to connect with your dad since that's something he introduced you to? What?
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. I mean, it kind of puts you in someone's shoes a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I mean, he never like put out music, or anything, but he always created
Mm-hmm.
and would write songs and just be very spiritual in the way that he wrote things. And sometimes it's good to just kind of, get a pen and paper down to start writing, just try to understand that feeling,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Take on, why you create and creation. I really love that answer. The next question that I would have for you basically is, have you ever felt like you didn't belong in a scene, or like when it comes to music, did anyone ever make you feel like you didn't belong in that creative space, or any situation like that ever arose for you?
I've been pretty lucky that I haven't gotten too much of that ever before. Usually anytime I send something to somebody or I say, hey, go check this out, whatever, it's always pretty much positive that I get back. But if I ever feel like I don't belong or if I'm in a negative space, there's billions of people on this planet. You know, you're
Absolutely.
not gonna make everybody happy, so it's move on. If you're not wanted there, don't be there. Go be the
Absolutely.
people that you want to be with.
Absolutely. That's a fresh take on that because, some of us, I mean, me for example, in the process of creating, I've always wanted to feel loved and accepted in that space.
Yeah,
So I found myself whenever I created for like a good chunk of my time doing this, I always try to cater what I was creating to what I thought people would like or to what I thought they would want to hear from me. So
yeah,
that while it helped me with experimentation, it really wasn't what I should have been doing.
yeah,
So whenever I found out that, hey, I don't have to be trying so hard to feel accepted, my songwriting and everything else basically switched. So you're right. Yeah, if you're not wanted in a space, you probably should not be there in the first place. So
yeah.
that's pretty good. Has there ever been a time you created out of pain?
Out of pain,
Yeah.
I mean, definitely for sure, man. I mean, I sometimes even if it's not like a personal experience, sometimes I'll just write about those deeper emotions.
Mm-hmm.
It can be complete bullshit. It's nothing that's
Understandable.
actually happened before, but it's just kind of over exaggerating getting those emotions out. Because if you don't really know what's going on personally that's making you feel that way,
Mm-hmm.
if you just kind of go all the way over to the extreme, somewhere along the line it gets out, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Tell me about a time you lost faith in your work or passion. What pushed you to that point and how did you get out of it?
Mm, man, that's a really good question.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I mean, this was probably years ago. It was really just more of a decision making scenario. And I mean, back in when like we first met a couple years back. I mean, I was recording on like a Yeti,
I
like just
remember. I
just
remember.
real, just poor equipment, and I didn't have anybody helping me. I was all self-taught, mixing, producing, engineering, all that stuff, and I didn't really have the tools I needed, and so I would be making something that I thought was beautiful, and I go and listen back to it, and I'm like, it sounds like I made this in a fucking closet. And it's just like at that point, I was like, man, everything I do doesn't come out the way I want it,
Mm-hmm.
so I may as well not even put it out if it's not my vision.
Mm-hmm.
But I got a couple buddies of mine that were in a group, and we all make music, got producers, and it's every day just hearing from other people in my same kind of same scenario,
Mm-hmm.
them all giving tips on how to get better,
Mm-hmm.
me giving some back that they don't know, and just kind of creating a collective of people that all build each other up
Mm-hmm.
instead of just you giving yourself thoughts
Mm-hmm.
every day, usually negative.
Right.
It kind of helps you realize that you just got to keep going until you get it right, because you're not going to learn from your mistakes if you don't make any.
Right, right. That's pretty good. I suppose I guess, like the mistakes and like that you were making and like whenever you were creating and they weren't sounding the way you wanted it to sound,
Yeah.
all of that stuff is kind of what made you lose faith in it is what you're saying. And
Yeah.
then with the community you built and stuff, that's how you kind of got out of that and whatnot.
Yeah.
So you think you're like in a different space now than you were back then when it comes to creation?
Oh, for sure, man. I mean, it's just, full floor down on the gases. We're creating as much as we can. I mean, shit, for Emotions, making that album,
Mm-hmm.
I probably made like 50 songs.
Oh,
And I put out like 10. Because you go back and listen to it, and I'm like, you know,
yeah,
I only like this song 99%. It's not
understandable.
100, and I'm not doing that shit. Everything's
Understandable.
got to be exactly how I want it to be. Because if I don't like it, how am I going to expect someone else to?
That's really true because when I create most of the time, if I don't immediately fall in love with the song, I don't expect anybody else to. Although the reverse has happened too, where I didn't like it. I thought it was decent, but then I send it to someone and they're like, "This is fucking amazing. Why are you sitting on this?" And I kind of go like, "Okay, I mean, I suppose there was something in it that I didn't see all the way." But
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. But most of the time and majority of the time, say 90% is I have to absolutely be in love with what I created before, I expect somebody else to like it too. Because you're the first person that's going to listen to your songs before anybody else does.
Yeah.
So if you don't like it, you're not going to want to listen. And if you don't want to listen to your song, then there's a high chance nobody else wants to do that either.
Exactly.
So I feel that. What emotion is the hardest for you to channel in your work?
Mm. Man, that's a really good question. And it's funny, it's used to what be the strongest
Mm-hmm.
emotion that I could channel, because I used to make a lot of more kind of like sad boy music, kind of
Right.
sad shit.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, that was back when I was a lot younger. I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's like those years you're all dealing with shit, even if you don't show it,
Yeah.
and whatnot. But now it's like, I have a nice job, I'm married, like I got nothing to be sad about. But
Absolutely.
I mean, it's like sometimes you still have some built up shit from the past that you haven't really gotten out yet, and that's where just kind of expressing yourself a little bit through your music comes through.
Mm-hmm.
You can kind of get out that last little bit that you had.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, like, if you were to put a word to that emotion, you would just say sad is what it is. Just like sad emotions.
Or even depressed.
Depression.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a very hard topic, and it's like depression is something that we kind of have to be careful when approaching it as artists because while the aim is to kind of understand it, you don't want to push your followers further into
Yeah,
that feeling.
you don't want to make them worse, but
Exactly.
you want to let them know they're not alone in that feeling.
Exactly. Yeah, you want them to feel understood, not given encouragement to keep feeling or stay in that state because it's very delicate.
Yeah,
So I suppose I could see how, say an artist like you, and also it would make sense. You are not who you used to be,
yeah,
like you have a whole lot more to be less sad about now than you did as, like an angsty teen or, just growing up, like you were just coming up, trying to understand your feelings, but now you're like a family man. There is more on the table, more things to focus on that doesn't really leave room for you to sit down and be sad and try to make a song about it. So
Exactly.
I could completely understand that. Do you ever have a fear of being misunderstood through your work?
Oh, absolutely. And I guess more of a fear is more just understanding that knowing it's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes you'll talk about a very niche experience,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, or maybe you'll have a bar that goes just a little bit too far over someone's head, and they
Mm-hmm.
gotta listen back to that shit. Like, what did you just say?
Yeah. Right, right,
They don't
right.
understand, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like, song's still fire.
Understandable, understandable. Yeah, because I mean, that's where stuff like controversy comes in, where people are like, "Oh, I don't want to be controversial, but some of the things I say could be considered
Yeah,
controversial." And then
man.
if you want to take it even a step further, the wall has grown in such a way that you kind of have to be careful what you're saying or how you're saying things, and
Man, shit.
it's
That's how you blow up now. Be
right.
hella controversial.
Yeah, but at what expense? At what expense, though? It's like you blow up, you controversial, and then what? You can't safely walk on the street no more. Your family's not
Yeah,
safe.
shit, you'll be the next 6ix9ine.
Yeah, that's insane, though. That's insane, and it's like I don't know. He gets so much heat. Personally, I like the guy.
Yeah.
I don't
He's
know.
funny as
Yeah,
hell.
he is funny. I like it. I like the music too. Whenever he was doing it back then.
On his gummo shit.
Yeah, the Gummo, Kiki, not so much Fifi. I don't like when he tries to sing and there's like a fuck ton of auto tune on that.
Yeah, no,
But
no.
I love when he's on his gangster shit and it's just funny. The BB sagging, fire like Aladdin. That was some good shit.
You be
Like,
seeing on the streams lately, he's like, I'll walk shit down! Say that shit 8 times in one
oh
stream.
my god, he really do though.
He stand up every time.
Yeah, tell me one time bro lied. Bro doesn't lie, bro. He will make his point to you.
What's that shit he says? Like, if I'm lying, I'm flying.
I'm lying, bro. So far he hasn't flown, so
I'm
he's
saying,
not
he's
lying.
on the ground the whole time.
Nah, bro, y'all leave 6ix9ine the fuck alone. That man's cool. I'm cool with bro. I like bro. He got hella cool shit around him. I heard his mom got kidnapped along or some shit like that.
Yeah, it's like a home invasion.
That was insane.
Yeah.
That was fucking insane. And people are trying to link it to like Steph Curry and shit. I'm just like, he's a baller. I don't know if he would do that,
Yeah.
but you never know.
It's like,
yeah,
please.
yeah. You never know, man. You never know. All right. So the next question I have for you is your art more about expressing something personal or discovering something universal?
Man, I'd say it used to be personal, but now it's a bit about more just discovering.
Okay.
It's because I built up that foundation of knowing who I am pretty well myself, but now it's all about, I've developed my sound. Now let's experiment with a little bit.
Absolutely.
Let's try saying things I haven't said before, topics I haven't talked about yet. And, shit, if it's fire, you're going to hear it. But
Absolutely.
if not, it's just something I take back for myself and take notes on.
Absolutely. Huh. I suppose that also goes hand in hand with what you've said about growth, like when you started out, you were more about personal stuff, it was more expressing personal emotions, personal
Yeah.
intentions and stuff like that. But as you took a hiatus, grew even some more, came back into it. Now it's more broader. You're trying to, just express something universal, like, so it's less for you and more for them, or better yet, everybody together in the same pot, trying to catch the same understanding of like the world around us in a sense.
Exactly.
Yeah, I could get that. So how do you balance vulnerability with privacy while writing or sharing your art? Because
Man,
because they sound the same, but they're two different things. Like,
no, for sure.
yeah, being vulnerable enough with people, but at the same time, if you're like me, you're a private person. You live a private life. Like, how
Yeah.
do you balance that as an artist?
I kind of broke my own rule a little bit recently with a couple songs that were on my album, but a lot of the times what I'll do if I have a certain song I want to make a topic about, or if there's something that I'm feeling personally inside, but it's more private, I want to say, exactly what's going on in my own life. I mean, maybe it's, something that just happened to me that day that I just don't want to keep inside.
Mm-hmm.
I'll express, uh, I'll express the emotion that I'm feeling
Mm-hmm.
through my music, but I'll use scenarios that maybe someone else is going through and
Mm.
they need to hear to get my own feeling out, you
Okay.
know? Kind of go over a scenario that may not be exactly what happened to me,
Mm-hmm.
but it's similar enough to the emotions that I'm feeling that I can get it out that way and also help someone else kind of maybe falsely understand, but just at least hear that whatever's happening to them is happening to someone else or someone's thinking of what's happening to them too.
Absolutely. Okay. Okay, this is another question that I really like to ask everybody that sits across the chair because it's it helps me understand everybody even the more better, and I think people listening will also like to know it. Um, it's a two-parter, so the first one is more of a yes and no, and then explaining the yes and no. The question is, do you believe in God and why?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And I mean, I grew up in a Christian home.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I grew up Baptist. Like my dad was also a pastor,
Mm-hmm.
on and off, and so I mean, even if I grew up in that environment, I would still believe I did. And I'll explain why with a recent event actually
Mm-hmm.
at work. I mean, I'm in multiple grocery stores all day,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't go through one aisle, 30 seconds without one or two people crossing paths with you. And one guy walked past me and he saw my big cross tattoo I got on my arm, complimented it, and kind of asked me a couple trivial questions, like
Mm-hmm.
what's the gospel, do you believe, who is Jesus, all this stuff. And I answered everything very politely. And then he asked me, I never met the dude before. He just looked at me, and before he left, he asked me my name, and then he said, "Can I pray for you real quick?" And I was like, "Sure." And I'd realized by this time, we had been talking for about 5 minutes, not a single person had come down the aisle. It was complete silence and just privacy. And he prayed for me, and he started praying about my dad. This is only just a couple of days ago, and he was like, "Man, I pray that just any hard feelings in the heart with this man and his father that just gets, basically that it gets better, that it gets clear, that's just brought to the Lord." And then he finished the prayer, and then he just looked at me and asked me, he's like, "Is there anything specifically going on with your dad recently?" And I told him, I was like, "Well, I lost him like a little over a decade ago, but I mean, it was a pretty pivotal point in my life. It was a pretty tough thing." And he just told me, he's like, I don't know what the feeling was. I just felt like praying about that. I'd never met this guy before, and it was such a weird feeling because you hear about other people saying they have like some type of spiritual interaction or something, and you're like, okay,
Yes.
maybe it's just in your mind, but it's
Yeah.
like it's one of those things where coincidence kind of goes out the door,
Yeah.
and it's more just explanation and kind of seeing something that you believed in for so long.
Yeah, that's insane. And I've been talking to a lot of people recently, and it's like not everybody gets any kind of encounter at all when it comes to their faith, no matter what they believe in.
Yeah,
Whether Christianity, Islam, or, whatever it is, not everybody can be like, I had a personal encounter that reaffirmed my belief. And for you to have met a total stranger that kind of like pacified and reaffirmed you in
yeah,
something that you've been carrying for so long, and even the people that you know, the people that you see day to day, not all of them not a lot of them have brushed that situation or try to talk to you or try to like pacify you with it, but someone you don't even know just came in and kind of prayed with you over it. That is
Yeah.
unique to me. That is something special, and it's like that's something that's a gift that you got, that so many people that are walking around earth right now just angry and mad at the world and mad at God and mad at situations that they're dealing with. They could use some of that, and not all of them are ever gonna get it, but thankfully, you got to experience that, and it was from a total stranger. So of course, that's something that should reaffirm you that there's gotta be God, there's gotta be something bigger than myself
Yeah.
out there that's watching out for me, or at least doing things to show that I am not alone. So, and
Exactly.
I think for me that's the biggest thing. It's like I'm like, there's got to be more out there, right? There's got to be something bigger than all of my cares. There's got to be something bigger than all of my suffering. There's got to be something bigger than all of the things I'm dealing with. Because, like, if you, like, if you looked at my life 15 years ago to where it is right now, very drastic,
Yeah.
very drastic. So it's something that you kind of have to be like, yeah, there's definitely something bigger than me pulling strings for me,
Yeah.
whether I see it or
Well,
not.
I mean, even on the topic of like creating, sometimes I'll tell people, I mean, to each your own of whatever it is that you believe in, but
Mm-hmm.
I'd tell people like, just go outside, see what the world looks like,
Mm-hmm.
and imagine trying to create that without ever seeing it.
Right. That is unique.
You
That
know,
is unique. I like that.
it's like this wasn't a mistake.
It couldn't have been. There is too many synchronicities. There is too many, like patterns. Too many
Exactly.
things that have just been put in place. It's like, what was it? I was watching this video, and I don't remember exactly the element that they were saying. They were like, if the Earth was even the tiniest bit closer to the sun, it wouldn't survive. If it was even the closest bit away, it still wouldn't survive. So it's
Yeah.
exactly right where it needs to be. And maybe it's not the sun. Maybe they were using the moon. They were using something
Oh yeah, how the
that
tides would move and all that
exactly. So
stuff.
they were
Yeah.
just like, if it was just a little bit off or a little bit too on, it would be
It's
disaster.
exactly where it needs to
Yeah,
be.
it's right there, and it's gonna stay there for a few billion years before whatever happens. Like they're
Yeah.
saying stuff. The sun eventually has a life cycle, kind of like the stars. It's eventually gonna burn
Yeah, it's
out.
just a big ass star.
Exactly. So it's some it got placed there. It's never moved. We keep rotating. We meet it again every single, and it's just stays there and it's just burning, and it's like, no, something had to thoughtfully make that happen.
Yeah.
You can't just tell me it was a mistake. So that's the only reason why. I mean, that's the only thing I would ever refute. You know, the whole idea of, oh, evolution, this and that. I'm like, I don't think we came from apes, bro, because the monkeys are still here and the apes are still here. So it's like, if we evolved from them, why are they
Yeah.
still there?
So what? They just lose a coin toss? I
Exactly.
got
So
you.
it don't make sense to me. But
Yeah.
for all I know, I don't know a lot. I don't know nothing. But my belief has kept me where I need to be, and that's sufficient enough for me.
Exactly.
I was gonna ask also, do you think religion has impacted your art in any way?
Mm. Um, I would say it has maybe not as much as it should,
Mm-hmm.
but I would say in a sense of trying to help people heal.
Mm-hmm.
It can. I mean, it's a lot of people that don't believe in anything. I mean, there's plenty of people out there that are happy and they
Mm-hmm.
don't believe in anything. But sometimes people are looking for something to help them feel better and not feel alone.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of making relatable music can kind of be that first step.
Mm-hmm.
And when you change the mindset that you're not alone in something,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of starts to trigger that mindset that may lead to be like, maybe just mentally I'm not alone, but spiritually I'm not alone either.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Okay. I could see that. So, how do you measure success beyond plaques, numbers, or streams, like with your music?
I would say through personal satisfaction.
Mm.
You know, I can have all the money in the world. I can have all the plaques in the world, all the streams, whatever it is that you look for, all the watches, chains, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's something that I got as a byproduct of something I'm not proud of
Mm-hmm.
that I made, anytime I look at something that I have, I'm not going to be really satisfied about it because I'm just going to be looking at it like, if I made something that I was really satisfied by,
Mm-hmm.
I would have even more than this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like this is all just, great to have and everything, but I didn't get it by something that I can, brag about.
Mm-hmm.
Go back and say, hey, go listen to the song. It's popping right now. I mean, look, my streams are going up. I'm getting paid for all this shit, but I don't care about it.
Understandable. Understandable. Um, do you think your art should comfort people or challenge them?
Mm. You know what? I'm going to say challenge in this day and age right now
Okay.
because a lot of people, especially kind of in the underground scene right now, are all just kind of copycats.
Mm-hmm.
They're making music because it sounds like what they listen to on the radio right now. No one wants to be creative and
Or
personal
unique.
anymore.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a challenge to people for their ears right now because they're so tuned to hearing a certain sound.
Mm-hmm.
Be your own person
Mm-hmm.
and make your own music, and then make people realize that there's more to music than just sounding like everybody else. You gotta be different, stand out a little bit.
Absolutely. So, if someone were to be listening or seeing you for the first time right now, what is the one Stone song that you want them to listen to that will kind of encapsulate your art for them? Like, what's the one
Mm,
song you can immediately point them to?
I got you. That would be, I got a song called 30 Seconds.
Mm.
That one, mainly because that song, it's a collective mix of everything that I've experimented with over the years
Mm-hmm.
and finally figuring out what I want my sound to be and what I want people to hear.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was maybe it was the third song on my album, but it was the last one I made. And it was because I made 10 songs for that album, and all the other 9 songs helped me make that one. And so I put it out there. And also, March Productions, my producer, he mixed that song for me. That's the first song I've ever had someone else mess with before and kind of fine-tune the sounds on it. So to me personally, I think it's the most professional sound I have too. And also, it helps it be something I'm the most proud of to go out and have someone listen to because it's full effect of what I want my sound
Mm-hmm.
to be 100%.
Mm-hmm.
There's no like, hey, listen to the song, and in the back of my mind I'm going like, man, I hope they don't catch that little part that even I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they remember like I do. I
Uh,
want them to hear the whole song.
mm-hmm.
Goddamn, the whole thing was perfect. I loved it, and they want to listen to it again.
30 seconds. That's awesome. Yeah, I strongly encourage everyone to check that out because that would be something unique because you're saying it encapsulates the sound that you're going for and everything that you aspire to sound like it's in that one song, and it would
Yeah.
help people better yet understand where you're going with which sound.
Yeah, it's funny. The name of the song is such a small amount of time,
Mm-hmm.
but that song took the most time to make collectively over the years.
Insane, insane. I could understand that. Would you say that is the best song that you've made so far?
Shit.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a rough question, man. I mean, as an artist, you almost kind of like to believe like every song you make is the
one.
best,
Yeah.
but it's definitely up there. I'd probably say top 3.
Top three?
Yeah.
Okay. What would the other top two be?
That'd probably be Backseat.
Mm-hmm.
And another one, shit. It's a tie between two.
Mm-hmm.
Red Hair, that's on my album,
Mm-hmm.
and Run It Back.
Running back. Running back, it's no matter where you play that, that's energy.
Because I made that song in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It was such
insane.
a quick, spur of the moment thing that it's in my top three,
Mm-hmm.
just purely also based off the experience of just making that song.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times, I mean, you probably know this, you're trying to make a song and the chorus, the first verse is perfect, but you're making like that second verse, you're doing even ad libs or something, it's like you're stuck. Damn.
Yeah.
And the fun gets taken out of the process, and whenever you're listening to it, it's like finishing a race, like you're tired.
Yes.
It's like, damn, but that song, I made it so quickly and so effortlessly that from just hearing the beat the first time to even playing it years later, it's like it's never been a bad memory for me.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that analogy. What are you most excited for that you got coming for the people? Like, it don't have to be anything concrete. You don't have to be like an album, or maybe it is. Like, what do you see happening in the future, like the nearest future that you're excited for?
Man, I already am working on my next album. I like to move fast, but I got a couple features coming up with some people that'll be really exciting. I look forward to spreading those out. But I guess it's just sharing what I've made more and getting more people to hear what I've created. That's something I really look forward to because I've always made music and I put it out. I mean, I'll post it on my store and be like, hey, go listen to my new song, whatever. But it was never something really I took too seriously. And so, I mean, I got my views and whatever, but it wasn't something where I was, really putting myself out there like I am now.
Okay.
And so I really look forward to just taking what I've made as like a smaller brand, just expanding that and making it something much bigger than it is now.
Absolutely.
Kind of the journey of that.
Absolutely. Okay. I could definitely understand that. The last question that I have for you is a bit morbid, but I'm still curious. If you were to pass away today, what would you want people to remember about you, your art, and everything you stand for? Like, what's the one message you would hope people take out of everything you've done?
Man, that's definitely something to sit on.
Yeah, I suppose so. I do ask a lot of questions that I like that on the spot, but it helps. The reason why I don't like telling y'all what I'm gonna ask you ahead of time is so you don't give me a smart answer. I want to know the truth as it is.
You know what? And I'm gonna look right in the camera when I say this shit.
Yeah.
Something that I want to be remembered by, and for everyone else, if you're an artist, something that you will want to be remembered by is that you did this because you want someone else to know that what they're going through was okay. And that what you did and what you made was purely because you love to create and make your spot in the world and make your difference. Not because you're trying to get fame, not because you're trying to clout chase or get all your money. Do all of it regardless of what you get back from it. Put out because you want to make a difference.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That was really good, man. I really appreciate you taking the time out to come talk to me today. I feel like it's helped me not just learn about your art, but about you as a person, getting into these questions with you and just kind of diving more into what Stone, stands for, into what Stone believes, and into what he represents as a person and not just an artist.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you coming out, man. That's
of course,
the end
man.
of it.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.